For farmers, springtime is for planting new crops to prepare for the hot summer months. But with the rainy season, many are falling behind.
This is very abnormal to get this much rain just day after day after day.
We just don't have enough time in between those rains to dry out.
Parts of Grayson County have received more than double the average amount of rainfall. Local farmer Ben Weibel says in a normal year, he would have planted his crops and baled hay over a month ago.
I have 40 acres, 20 acres of oat hay, real good oat hay I cut right before this rain, and 20 acres of ryegrass, clover, mix.
But it has not dried up enough to bale it.
The longer it stays on the ground, the more deterioration is going to happen.
Some of these rainstorms have also produced hail, which has damaged crops. You can see the difference between these two wheat heads. This one is still intact, while the hail has knocked out most of the seeds on this one, making it a total loss.
I think there'll be at least 50% destroyed.
Farmer Scott Renfro says once the rain does stop, it will still take weeks for the ground to dry up enough for harvesting.
The fields are just still going to be so wet, and because the wheat is so thick that we just don't have enough sunshine and hot air and wind to get out in there and dry it out.
With more rain in the forecast, these farmers are doing their best to catch up.
We just take it the best we can and we'll work it out one way or the other.
In Grayson County, Erin Pillay, News 12.
If you've ever been curious to look inside the historic Rialto Theater or other properties here on Denison's Main Street, well, you can this Saturday. The community, investors, or future business owners can mosey around town to take a peek at each property.
We want to really bring more economic opportunity to people.
It's called the Imagine the Possibilities Tour, put on by the Denison Main Street Board and the Texas Historical Commission.
And then we'll have realtors stationed at each property so they can talk to people about the specifics for each building.
14 properties will be on display that are either for lease or sale.
The Goodyear building is for lease. We have the Studebaker building in the 400 block for sale. We have space in the Katy Depot.
Empty space for new ideas in historical downtown Denison.
We're really looking for more restaurants, family-oriented businesses, that kind of thing, but we're open to all things, really.
And the city is making great effort to spruce up downtown.
Well, you can see Main Street is thriving. You know, the city is spending millions of dollars for the streetscape to make the sidewalks bigger so we have outside dining and to put in landscaping to make it really beautiful.
The event starts at 3 Saturday afternoon at the Katy Depot.
That's where people can come and pick up tour maps and little goodie bags with more information.
And the tours end at 5:30. In Denison, Hannah Gonzalez, News 12.
The S&S Rams are undergoing some big changes heading into the 2024 football season. The Rams will be led by a new head coach as Dan Pike takes over the program. Also, the Rams are in a whole new district, leaving the western area opponents in the rearview mirror. Now they join a league with several Texoma teams, including Gunner, Bells, and Howe. After an 0-10 season, these Rams are looking forward to building toward a winner with key ingredients that good football teams always have.
Hopefully get some good wins this year, and just looking forward to build more relationships with our coaches and better relationships as a team.
We need a lot more discipline, work ethic. We've got to push each other to be our best.
We're going to focus on discipline and details, and that's what we're going to preach to our kids every day. We're going to be the most disciplined football team out there. We're going to be lined up. We're going to do everything ready and right, and we're going to focus on the details. The little things are going to be right, because when we can trust our kids to do the little things right, then the big things are going to happen.
The Rams are certainly hoping for big things and are putting in the work. Coach Pike says the first and most important step is pushing aside what has happened before.
We're not worried about the past. We got all of our arrows pointed in the same direction, and we're looking forward. So we've got a bunch of new coaches, and we've got a really young football team, and we're really excited. They've been out here. They've worked their tails off all summer at summer strength. You know, we started practice on Monday, and the energy and the enthusiasm, these kids buying into a brand new offense, a brand new defense, 6 new football coaches. I mean, we're just excited.
It's been 4 days since Ardmore has seen rain, only about 1/4 of an inch in the last week, but this drainage ditch here off of Rosewood is full of standing water with oil scum and mosquitoes.
Right now it's sitting, it's collecting and it's sitting and it's not moving very well, so it's making the area really swampy and the mosquitoes. It's just a really bad area. So if we could get in there and quickly just cut a ditch, basically, and move that water out of there, get the retaining wall up and kind of get everything shored up, cleaned up over there and make it look nice, that's the goal.
Ardmore City Engineer Josh Randell says that's what the city signed off for on Monday. A construction bid to improve this so-called storm drainage channel so that residents like the Daltons can use their yard again. You've been watching your yard fall into the creek.
Yes, we've lost at least, I would say, a fourth of our yard.
Preston and Donna Dalton are concerned the standing water could make them sick.
You know, if you want to stay healthy, you can't live like this.
And now there's all kinds of trash thrown in here. There's snakes. There's been mice.
The city accepted a $95,000 bid for the project.
They're very ready for these kinds of projects, and especially our commissioners on the Southwest Ward. You know, these are some of the projects that he's tried to usher in and look at.
I just hope they go through with it and don't drag it out a long period of time, and they do a thorough job.
Randell says the next step is to get bonds and insurance approval. Once that's done, it'll take about 3 weeks before the project can be started, and it'll be completed in about a month. Reporting off of Rosewood Street in Ardmore, I'm Caroline Cluis-Fletcher, News 12.
On January 29th, Avangrid Renewables and their partners entered my property illegally, trespassed, and destroyed an acre of my property. They took out about 600 trees. And during those conversations dealing with that damage, I learned about a larger project. I learned about a 33 windmill project that's going in and around me, and I had not been communicated with. They offered me a compensation of $2,500 total and to replant 100 sapling trees. They didn't account for water, maintenance, anything in this property.
I would like to ask today for a moratorium on this project. A stop work order should be issued to Avangrid.
It is something new. It has been around in the U.S. since, approximately 2008, 2009. So it's still in its infancy.
I'm concerned about the transparency for my county, for my neighbors.
They've ruined the beautiful Arbuckle Mountains. Who wants to come down here and look at a bunch of turbines when we have the beautiful mountains to look at?
Most of the time, these wind projects are one of the top taxpayers, if not the top taxpayer in the entire county. The land leases and the money that's generated off of those leases is truly a godsend for a lot of families.
I cannot besmirch any landowner from trying to make a profit from their land. But I do not believe that the decisions that you make should impact your neighbor.
I understand you don't want to look at a wind turbine, and that may be the case, but you know what? I've also, my former days of working at the Oklahoma Farm Bureau, folks have told me I don't want to smell a feedlot. I don't want to smell a chicken house. I don't, and so, the question begs, well, what's next?
There's always two sides to every story. And just educate. It's all about the education side of it. Getting factual information, okay? And where do we go for that? You have to follow your own gut, truthfully. County officials, state officials, those are good places to go.
Lives are lost and homes and businesses are destroyed after a destructive tornado ripped through southern Cook County Saturday night. Here in Valley View, some people are in shock after losing everything, yet somehow surviving the storm.
We're back this morning trying to salvage anything we can. There's not much left.
I was just devastated by what I saw, blown away by it.
This is where Kelly Shaw and Dana Smith took cover from the deadly twister.
I don't know how I survived in that little thing.
Shaw says it all happened so fast. He got a tornado warning on his phone, and just a few moments later,
we looked out, it was just black, and the funnels were starting to come down, and it was just that quick. It was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. And so we just grabbed the mattress and put it over our heads and started praying.
They made it out, but what they saw getting out of that camper was unrecognizable.
All these people are missing their homes and missing their animals.
He called his neighbor, Michelle Ishmael. She was at work when the tornado struck and got back home Sunday morning, except her home is now scattered on the ground.
There's no words for it.
Her biggest concern, one of the 3 rescue dogs she owns, is missing.
There's other people going through the same thing, and they're afraid that their family member is missing. And
I just pray my boy comes home.
The tornado left Raven Miller's home shredded, but luckily for her son, everything wasn't completely lost.
We found another book, his other Pokemon book, and his baseball bat. Oh my gosh. It's really the little things.
A shelter has been set up for those in need. We'll continue to give updates as we receive them. In Cook County, Talea Munson, News 12.